Episode 152. So Danny and Pamela are at Danny's house, and all of a sudden they hear a noise upstairs. So they're panicking, thinking that somebody's upstairs, like someone's broken to the house. And so they run upstairs, and it's Chelsea. And Chelsea tells them to call 911 because her mother has been robbed. Next, Naomi is being rude and extra to Jacob, who's being so patient and understanding, even when she doesn't deserve it. Poor Jacob, he wants the baby so bad, and Naomi doesn't. So she tells Jacob they're in a place that they're in an impasse. And she says she visited her mom, and she was hoping that Danny would change her mind, but she says that she still, she was hoping that something Danny would say would make her want the baby, but she still doesn't want the baby. So she tells Jacob she didn't grow up wanting to be a mother. She did say in a previous episode, Naomi had said that Jacob had agreed that they weren't going to have children when they first got married, but things change, people change, and I think that's the problem. And I don't know, this could be a relationship or a marriage breaker, if that's a word, but this could definitely cause a problem because Jacob's not going to change his mind. Next, Danny tells Chelsea no one broke into her home. She just sold the clothing that Chelsea was looking for. I guess Chelsea was looking for pieces of clothing that Danny had in her, that Danny had from different places. And I think she said like Japan and some other places, like some vintage pieces. And Danny said she just got rid of them because she needed to make room for Andre things. Next, Jacob tells Naomi he's frustrated. He tells her he wants to be a dad, and she thinks that he's being insensitive. And I think that's unfair. He just wants to be a dad. And so Naomi keeps talking about her career as a lawyer. And what she fails to understand is that a person is so much more than their career. And that's how you can tell that she's still young, because as you get older, you realize that you are so much more than your career. And that's one thing that a lot of women in their youth, they're pursuing their career, and then later on they realize that they wish they could have included that when they could have had, when they were still that childbearing age. And so this is definitely going to be a problem for her and Jacob. And you can't help but feel sorry for him. Next, June tells Samantha she needs to find a boy her own speed. And Samantha tells June she's glad she didn't give in to her not quite boyfriend. And I guess he's pushing her hard to have sex, and she's just not ready. So I am glad that June is telling her that, don't let anyone force you or pressure you to do something that you don't want to do, because a boy is a dime a dozen. And I know when you're younger, it doesn't feel like that, especially as a younger girl. When you got your eye on somebody, it's just no one who can replace that person. But it speaks volumes when you have someone who's not respecting what you're telling them, and you're telling them I'm not ready, and they want to keep on. So then let him find someone who's willing to have sex with him. Next, Jacob asks June what happened to Tyrell and Samantha's dad, and June tells them he's gone, but she doesn't go into what happened to him. And it seems like June's hiding information, so we, down the line, I wonder how soon will we get information about their dad, because we all know it's going to come up, and more than likely in soap opera fashion, It'll be some guy who comes to town, some mystery guy, and they find out that it's their dad. So she tells Jacob he would make a great father, and she has no idea that Naomi doesn't want to have their baby. Next, Haley is reminiscing to when she and Naomi became friends, and Naomi used to she used to bake cupcakes for Naomi, and Naomi loved her cupcakes. In that flashback, Naomi introduced Haley to Danny as her new best friend. So I guess Haley poisoned the cupcakes that she presented to Bill, and Bill switched cupcakes from the red one that Haley gave him without Haley knowing. So Naomi took a bite out of the red cupcake and she says to her dad that something's wrong with the cupcake. So Haley grabs the cupcake from Naomi, and everybody's looking at her like, what's wrong? And so this goes back to in the previous episode where Randy was ordering the tasteless, odorless, and untraceable poison to give to Bill. And so I assume that Haley baked the cupcakes and put the solution, the poison, into the cupcake that was in the red paper. Next, Danny and Pamela tries to convince Andre to be a model for their agency. So Andre tells Danny he's not interested on being on the opposite side of the camera. So when Pamela leaves, Danny still tries to convince Andre. And of course, they're desperate because they have this modeling agency that they're starting and they have no models. So they better find somebody quick. If it's not Andre, they better spend some more time in looking for somebody. Next, June asks Jacob, does he and Naomi plan to have children? And Jacob tells June it's not in the cards for them. And you could tell that Jacob, he just looked so sad when he told June that, because he really wants kids to be in the cards for them. Next, it's Bill's birthday, and Bill brings Chelsea and Naomi champagne. And so Naomi can't drink it, so she's just holding the glass. And so Naomi tells everybody she has to leave because she knows that if she doesn't drink the champagne, that they're going to be looking at her and guess that she's pregnant. So, yeah. And see, this is where it gets confusing, because she says that she doesn't want to have a baby, but then she's not drinking champagne. So it's like, if you don't want to have the baby, does it matter if you drink the champagne? Or maybe she's just being responsible. I don't know. Next, Jacob sees Martin at Orthy Jeans picking up Samantha, and Jacob apologizes to Martin for his role in working with Smitty regarding the Kenny situation. So Martin tells Jacob family is everything. So poor Jacob, he's just getting bombarded with these family quotes and people emphasizing the importance of family. And it's got to be nagging at him to see people valuing family and saying how important it is. Next, Naomi meets with Ashley at the hospital, and she tells Ashley she thinks that she's pregnant. So she tells Ashley that Jacob is happy, but when they got married, Jacob agreed to no children. And again, like I said, things change. People change. He has a right to change his mind. So she tells Ashley she needs her help. And so I'm not sure what she means. Does she mean she needs her help with, deleting the fetus? I don't know. And I have to say deleting because you can't say the A word on YouTube. So yeah, I don't know. Next, Smitty gets on his knee and asks Martin to marry him again. And that ends the episode.